Dr. Shinwari, I keep hearing about Islamic banking, but I don't really get how it's different from the regular banks I'm used to. Could you explain it to me?
Of course, Layla, that's an important question. At its core, the key difference has to do with how Islamic banks handle money, and more specifically, interest. Conventional banks run on interest. You deposit your money, they pay you interest, and if you borrow, you pay interest back. Islamic banks, however, avoid all forms of interest, which isn't allowed under Islamic law, or Sharia.
If they don't use interest at all, how do they make any money? How does it work for, let's say, buying a house?
That's where things get interesting. Instead of giving you a home loan and charging you interest like a typical bank, an Islamic bank might actually purchase the house itself. They'll then sell the house to you at a marked-up price, agreed upon in advance, and you pay for it in installments. That profit margin is set at the start, so there's no hidden interest. The process encourages transparency and partnership.
And what if I wanted to save money? In a regular bank, I'd earn interest on my savings. What happens with an Islamic bank?
Good question. Islamic banks follow a profit and loss sharing system. So instead of paying you interest, they invest your money in Sharia-compliant ventures. These might be businesses, projects, or leases that follow ethical and legal guidelines laid out in Islamic law. If those investments do well, the bank shares the profits with you. If they underperform, you might receive a smaller return. The idea is to share both risk and reward with the bank, instead of making guaranteed profits from interest.
That feels like a totally different way to think about banking. Are there other things that make Islamic banks unique?
Absolutely. One key principle is ethical investment. Islamic banks are careful not to put money into sectors considered harmful, like alcohol production, gambling businesses, or arms manufacturing. This ensures that both the sources and uses of funds are ethical and serve the wider good, reflecting social responsibility rooted in their values.
So basically, Islamic banks avoid interest, focus on sharing profits and risks, and only invest in responsible industries.
Exactly. Both systems offer financial services, but their underlying philosophies and processes are quite distinct.
Thank you, Dr. Shinwari. That actually makes a lot of sense now.
My pleasure, Layla. Let me know if you have more questions.